Hi, ho everyone. My name is Mr. Fruit, and welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 133 on this fateful May the 15th. Although we are recording it on Friday the 13th. We didn't even mention that.
You know what's weird? I don't believe in superstitions.
Yeah.
But I do believe in black cats crossing me. I don't know why.
So that you believe in a superstition.
Yeah, I guess I believe in that one. But like any other one, like I think they're stupid and hogwash.
Well,
but like that, if that one is like so niche though, like I never see like a black. And if that happens to me, I'm not leaving my room the whole day.
Yeah, there's never really been a superstition. Like people have had like, like for instance, like the Broncos game's about to start, dude. I gotta go run 2 miles around King Supers, come back, wear my pants backwards.
That's like a ritual type of thing.
Yeah, but
like
but they're super. Yeah. No, it's like a super. Like if I don't do that, they're gonna lose. And then if they still lose, it's like, well, okay, but if I hadn't, they would have for sure. I've never believed anything like that. I don't believe if so and so happens or you see something or like, oh, a shooting star, right? Or and part of that is because
I do believe in the good luck ones though.
Well, I don't even believe in that because thanks to my dad. I remember this. I was telling him the other day. He's like, I don't remember that. He's like, are you sure I did that? I was like, oh, I remember. It scarred
Such a
me.
dad thing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like 6 or 7 going to a soccer game, and we were about to go in. So like we arrived in the car. We were about to get out. I was like in the back seat or whatever, and I was like putting on a bracelet or something. I mean, I was like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm putting on this bracelet. It's good luck. And he yanked it off. Says, we don't believe in good luck. And
what?
Yeah, that's scar. And then from there on, I was like, yeah. And he's like, I didn't do that. I was like, it is seared in my brain, Dad.
What a weird dad thing to do.
Yeah, I don't know. It was
that's
because I think part of
it's like, why would I make that up, Dad? Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know if it was like I don't know his reasoning. He didn't explain it. I was scarred. So then I was like, all right, yeah, good luck, super, whatever, dude. They don't matter. So that's my story.
So we talk about Halo, unfortunately, still somehow.
As long as this TV show's going, it's giving us content.
Yeah. Doctor Strange. We get into the spoilers talk of that.
I will include audio segment again to roughly tell you again whatever time I give about a minute leeway, just because when I do it, we don't yet have ads, so I'm assuming when the ads will be over. EA losing the license to FIFA, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen on Star Wars prequels. We talk about those. Q&A.
Finger podcast. Oh, new content drop too.
Oh,
cop that merch.
Did you say finger podcast?
No, I didn't say that. Did
what did you say? That's what I was trying to figure out.
I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what I said.
I thought you like finger podcast. And I was just like, what?
I don't remember what I said. It wasn't finger, I don't think.
Maybe it was favorite. It just sounded like finger. I don't know. It's GG's, baby.
Did I say finger?
Enjoy. Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Life can be overwhelming, and so many people can get burned out without even knowing it. Symptoms can include lack of motivation, feeling helpless or trapped, detachment, fatigue, and more. I am currently working on my process of being burnt out and how to work through those processes. So I'm actually working with BetterHelp to work through those and find better and healthy alternatives to not feeling experiences of burning out. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video and phone and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and GG Over Easy listeners can get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/GG. That's BetterHelp.com/GG. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 133. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about things. I don't know. We got a couple things on the list. We'll see what we get to, what we don't. We got Q&A. Is over baby? What?
I don't know what you were trying to do there.
Rebrand.
Oh, okay.
We've been mispronouncing it the whole time. It's like the GIF thing. Yeah, it's actually over
Oh, so it's like GG over easy, and they're the ones running away, and then it's that
Right.
black entity behind them floating, like
Go
from
over.
behind them. Like, yeah. Okay.
That's what's happening right now.
Okay.
Speaking of what's happening right now, and not wanting to live in this world, the most recent Halo episodes come out. I still haven't seen episode 6 moving forward, but I was excited to watch 6 because I heard it was like the best one yet, and there was no Quan storylines. I'm like, sick. And then episode 7 came out, and I heard it's only Quan. I'm like, okay, not helping. And now episode 8 has come out, and I don't know if you care about spoilers.
Nah, fuck it, dude. At this point, like, who's watching? The show is so bad. If someone out there's really like, dude, I can't believe you spoiled the Halo show for me. Like, go fuck yourself.
I'm gonna
Don't
be
watch
honest.
it. Like,
I try and avoid spoilers, but this thing happened, and there was no avoiding it. It was everywhere because it was like,
I think the show's so bad that people don't care about spoiling it. I think.
well, I saw some meme somebody was saying in regards to like, well, I didn't think Halo could get worse, and I thought it was like a joke. I was like, haha, that's funny. Wouldn't that be funny? And I realized no, that's exactly what happened. So, Master Chief,
Oh, no.
what was apparently smitten by our female human arbiter. Of course, because that's why she's a human. And
Tragic backstory.
right,
We both have tragic backstories. That means we love each other.
Yeah, with his newfound emotions and whatnot, decided to go fornicate with said female arbiter.
Like, he's a virgin, right?
I would assume so. Gotta think. Not only too kind of weird, like did it in her prison cell. Like she's stuck there. So that's kind of like some weird vibes there. But goes ahead, and of course, Master Cheeks, classic. And I don't know, I haven't seen it yet to know the nuances, but I guess apparently the implication is the fall of Reach happens because of that. So essentially, because Master Chief has sex with her, he now is the reason Reach is going to fall.
Jesus Christ, yep.
So that's a storyline.
That's some post-nut clarity if I've ever heard it.
That's a thing.
I mean? Like,
that, yeah, for her, I guess. She's like, yes, simple. Now I know how to kill Reach. Glass it.
So, Willow.
So now when you're playing Halo Reach, just imagine you're sitting here and everyone's like, Chief, you just had the boner, huh? Imagine that whole game is because...
And he's over there in his shades and it's like, come on, bro. Like, I had to hit. Like, what you mean? Like, I had to.
tap that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's like, I had to hit. How could I, like, what is, like, why? Why is that in the show?
They're trying to humanize him.
I heard Cortana was watching too.
Dude, that is the weirdest part.
Wait, did they show her?
Yes. I watched it, and the weirdest part is while this is happening, it cuts to her just like sitting there watching.
Oh my
god!
God.
I'm like, what fucking show am I watching?
Like, I'm surprised she wasn't like, Chief, lift up her hips. Chief, I googled this, Kama Sutra. I have received these results. Would you like to hear them?
Make a joke.
Like,
I was gonna say, Cortana
might
teaches,
as well
like,
have
that
dude.
mom teaches something.
Cortana, I need a role play. Dude. You got something for me?
Oh man,
bringing up results.
It sucks, dude. Like, it's unreal. Like, I'm living in a world where Master Chief's character is being absolutely destroyed in front of my eyes, and Sonic's character is like is thriving. Yeah. You know, like is like if in 2007, if you told me, hey, in 15 years, Sonic is gonna have the most successful movie franchise in video games, and the Halo gets its own TV show and is terrible, I wouldn't want to live in that world.
Well, what I liked was I saw this picture, and it was like the virgin versus the Chad meme, except this one is the non-virgin John Halo. Refuses to wear a helmet or most clothes. Talks about emotions and has sex with enemy spy. And then the Chad Master Chief always wears helmet and pants. Only asks for weapons and is quietly in love with a hologram. Where's our Chad Master Chief, man?
I'm actually surprised you're still sticking with it.
I tried.
I mean,
And I mean,
I'm
at this point,
impressed.
I'm too far gone, so I might as well see how bad it gets.
I saw like a clip and it was like, it's so weird, man. Like sometimes the budget in that show looks like they have the budget for everything, and then they sometimes just look like it is like on the Sci-Fi Network before Sharknado 2 premieres.
I'm still convinced. This was some throwaway plot they couldn't get greenlit, and then they're like, "Oh, we got a Halo license."
100%.
What if this dude's now Master Chief? And they're like, "Whoa, that's brilliant. That's so good." It's yeah. I can't defend. I can't even like try and play devil's advocate at this point. It's not even like, again, original. I was like, well, maybe if I wasn't a fan of Halo, I just think it's bad at this point. Like, I don't even think it's if you're
just
not a Halo
good
fan.
Television, like it's not good writing, not good television,
right.
Not good action, not good CGI.
Like I said, I think I said this before. Like, at this point, if it wasn't even Halo, I would have stopped watching regardless.
I will
just
say this,
it's just it's not even the fact they're
the show gets right.
What's that?
And that I think would be the costume design. I think if there's one thing
I would know, he's never wearing the suit.
Well, I think the other Spartans look kind of cool, and like the UNSC, like they look cool, and like the generals and stuff, the costumes look Halo, and that is about it with the show.
So sad. They could just do a sizzle action reel of like the 10 minutes of combat the entire series has, and just post that. That should have been the series. And you'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Man, I wonder what a full series is like. But you know what? Maybe it's better we don't have that.
No, it's better this way.
So wait, how does the fall of Reach happen because he has Whoopi with the spy?
Well, I don't know that part. That's what
Okay, Blue, could you explain that potentially?
Okay.
Spoilers for anybody that wants to be in Halo.
We're doing you a favor, frankly, I think.
I don't even want to explain.
So they have Halo TV show fall.
How do I even start? Okay.
I just know some Spartan put gun grease in her hair and she's like, I'm free now.
That's oh man. Okay.
I'm seeing if I can find like an explanation on like.
I mean, the sad bit is I'll probably eventually get to it and figure it out, but like, God, it makes me even more depressed now that there's a season 2. At this point, they would have to retcon anything for this to like really mean anything to me. Because the thing is, too, if they've humanized Master Chief this much, they're not going to go back on this. And if anything, they're going to double down into it. So he's just going to become this. He's just a walking babby. It's bizarre.
Okay, so I'm going to
read stories that could work, but
okay, so it says Halo's Makee, 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 is that a character's name? Means the TV show's Fall of Reach is going to be different. So it says Paramount's Plus Halo TV show may be inspired by the world of the games, but its version of the Fall of Reach will be different. The first season of Halo TV series is essentially set up revolving around the 2 ancient Forerunner artifacts called Keystones that essentially serve as the show's MacGuffin. I don't know what that means.
It's a plot device to drive things forward.
Oh,
yeah, pretty much.
It's now clear the Keystone point the way to the Halo rings, with the Master Chief experiencing a vision of a Halo ring at the end of Episode 6. The Master Chief was not alone in this vision, however. He is one of 2 blessed ones. People who possess the ability to activate and interact with Forerunner technology. The other is Makee, a woman who is kidnapped by the Covenant. When
Major Stockholm syndrome going on, let me tell you.
Kidnapped by the Covenant when she was just a child, who has now been implemented within the UNSC as a spy. So wait, she's a spy?
She's a Covenant spy. And for some reason, because they're both blessed, they apparently have sexual chemistry. It all happened so quick, which is why I am not even sure I was the right person to be explaining it.
The Covenant already possesses one of the keystones, and her real goal is to find a way to acquire the second one as well. Disturbingly, Mackie appears to have earned the UNSC's trust and the Master Chief's, with a scene in episode 6 even showing he feels a sense of affection towards her.
Well, little do they know. I'm assuming they wrote this before 8, obviously.
I'm confused. So she's a spy for the Covenant. She works for the Covenant, correct?
Yes.
And then she gets captured by the UNSC. And then the UNSC are like, hey, we trust her for some reason.
Well, this is the one part I did see at the end of episode 5 was the last one I saw. When they had the 3 minutes of cool Halo action. At the end of it, when he's firing his BR in full auto mode, because why not? The pod gets ejected from the Covenant ship as it's going away. The word Imperial ship, whatever the fudge, the big ship.
Yeah.
And drops down, and then he's like, "Oh, what is it? What's going on here?" And then she falls out of the pod, and it's like, help me, Covenant, oh my god!" And he's like, who are you?" She's like, "I was a prisoner." Like, "Are there any more of you?" "No." And she looks perfectly pristine, clean, nothing's wrong with her, of course. They couldn't throw a little dirt on her or something. And he's like, "Okay." And so now I guess fast forward 2 episodes and they're doing it. So that's
okay.
So imagine my surprise too when that's the last thing I saw, and I'm like, "What? How did this?"
Halo Season 1 is inevitably heading towards the fall of Reach, the greatest battle in the Human Covenant War.
I can't wait.
And in the in-game timeline, a direct predecessor to the discovery of the first Halo ring. But the actual conflict will likely be very different, precisely because it too is driven by the Forerunner Keystone. It's reusable. It's reasonable to assume that Master Chief will allow Mackie to see the Keystone, confirming it is on Reach, and she will then summon the Covenant.
I'm already calling it. This is how it goes down. Covenant invade. Like, oh my god, they're here. How did they know this? This is crazy. We got to go to war. And then Chief's like, "Okay, let me make sure Mackie's safe." And he goes. He's like, "Where's Mackie?" And then they're like, I think we can't find her. I think she escaped." He's like, "Let me go find Mackie." And then he finds her as she's like boarding the ship trying to leave, and it's like a Covenant ship. He's like, "What are you doing?" And then she's like, "I'm sorry, John, but this whole time it was me." And then he's like, "I can fix you." And he actually goes with her, leaves Reach. They go away. He tries to fix her, and that's how Reach falls. I'm already calling it. That's
okay.
That's it. I wrote it clearly.
Here we go. Where was I? It's reasonable to assume that Master Chief will allow Mackie to see the Keystone, confirming it's on Reach, and she will then summon the Covenant. This means that the Covenant's motivations for engaging the human forces will be very different, with major implications for how the battle will play out. In the original game timeline, the Fall of Reach was a PYRRHIC. What word is that?
Wait, what?
PYRRHIC. Pyrrhic.
It's either Pyrrhic or Pyrrhic, I think.
Pyrrhic victory for the Covenant, a turning point in the Human Covenant War. Although the Covenant successfully captured the planet, doing so cost them far too many of their forces, and they never really recovered. In contrast, it's quite possible the Covenant will not need to expend so much effort in the TV series timeline, simply because their objective is different. They simply want to extract Mackie.
They simply want to destroy the Halo IP. Yeah, that's...
that may well leave the Covenant in a stronger position when the dust settles from the battle.
For the record, I think it's Pyrrhic, and the definition is one at too great a cost to have been worthwhile for the victor.
Oh, good word. That's a GG over easy word of the day.
Yeah, there you guys
go. So in the original thing, the Fall of Reach, the Covenant just did it to kind of just make a statement kind of thing, and not necessarily recover anything.
Well, I mean, it's like striking at the heart of your enemy, right? Like, imagine you're at war. I don't know. Let's say I can't even think. Imagine, we're going to war with Russia, and imagine we go and just destroy all of Russia, and now the Russians are left to like scatter through the rest of the globe trying to find things and still gather. But like, essentially, you struck at their heart. Their main base of operations is blah.
But now you're attacking Russia to get a Russian spy that you had sex with,
who now has the launch codes. I guess. This is
like
way,
even in
I don't know, man.
this show sucks, but I'm gonna watch the season finale. I haven't watched since season episode
It just
2,
come in right.
but
Yeah,
I will come at the end.
I hate we're even talking about it more. I don't want to give it more time, but like, oh my god, 10 million an episode, by the way.
God,
Ridiculous.
10 million an episode, really?
Yeah.
yeah.
How are we here?
Where'd it
Damn.
go?
You give me 10 mil an episode, and I'm making a banger Halo series.
10 million episode to have Master Chief walk around in spandex.
Like, Master Chief is hitting every kind of ass. And I'm not just talking female ass. Covenant ass, man ass. He's hitting everything that moves. He's going to save Reach and then go hit some Covenant tail.
Master Cheeks.
Everybody's watching
But the
that.
Chad
And it's on HBO Max.
That's how you know.
Yeah, that's how you know. You see.
Hey, I don't know who can. Microsoft, you're like, Paramount, what you doing? Hey. You ever want to know the ST show? Hit me up.
Yeah,
you ever want to introduce people
and everything.
A real way? Yeah, hit me up. All right. NBD.
It would be so cool.
But here we are. And now it's like it's that saying, like, don't meet your heroes, kids. This is it. Like,
I don't think I've seen a bigger fall from grace for a character that I love that is just getting dragged through the mud. And is just getting spit on.
The back of a horse.
Shamed. Yeah, dude, it's just getting absolutely just destroyed and dead. Like, Master Chief is not cool anymore.
It's just that.
Because now everybody, when you say Master Chief, is going to think that guy's Master Chief, even though he's not. Like.
Yeah, I feel like it might even do Microsoft more harm in the future because you're like, hey, you want to play Halo? Wait, that game on that show sucked. No, I don't want to.
Yeah, no.
So that's why I'm Microsoft. I'm like, pull the plug.
Wait, the game that sucks and the show sucks? No, I don't want to play that. Like, what?
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's sad. That's all it is. It's real sad.
And we're just a couple of Halo stands that I think my Halo love is dead. Like,
I'm not even a Halo stan, and I hate this. So
I
that
think you're
should tell
just
you
watching
something.
it.
It hurts.
Do you like watching bad television, Blue, or is it like just something?
I usually do, but like only if the television knows it's bad, so it plays on itself. Whereas this is bad television because it's genuinely like think like they're writing this and they're like, yeah, this is it.
This is good.
This is it. We wrote the shit out of this show. Yeah, this is it. The thing that like really sealed the deal for me is when Master Chief is just going down on her. He's just raw dogging it. He's just letting her have the fucking battle rifle. He's hitting her with the fucking Spartan laser. He's just destroying her with his warthog.
Stop, please stop.
He's hitting her from
We get it, dude. We get it. You're making it worse, man.
How long is the scene?
Is
it like a pretty drawn
He's
out
giving her
scene?
It's
that
a pretty
plasma
short
pistol.
scene.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a pretty short scene, but
No.
like
Too
you're
long.
but like he's hitting her from the back with his sniper rifle, right? And Cortana's just right there.
That's the weird part. Cortana's like,
Cortana, no, it's not even. It's not even. It's literally just the blank stare from Cortana, like
God,
just dead.
Her
She's just
face was
watching
probably
it.
all of us. Like,
I don't like, and it's not even like they like kissed or something, and then like it showed the next day or something like that. Like oh, they had sex. Like it actually shows them in the middle of it.
probably.
I need
I
to
mean,
watch.
it's not really explicit, but like it's still, you know,
I want to go home.
she's just like nice.
Is she sitting there in the front? Oh yeah, oh God. That's what I
She's just
imagine.
sitting there like getting cucked,
Oh.
and she's like into it, and yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
I think we can move on. Oh, go ahead.
Speaking of change of popular opinion.
Oh, see, I was just probably going to say the same thing.
Oh, I think I'm going to bring up something else.
Oh, okay.
But then you can also then
Okay.
transition that into that.
Yeah.
I saw this clip recently of Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen because they're out doing like the PR tours and stuff. Yeah, for Obi-Wan. And it was interesting. Like they were hanging out with some fans, whatever, and Ewan McGregor, who's asked a question. There's like a little 2-minute clip of him or whatever talking about though how like after filming the prequels, like they never watched them again. They never interacted with them. They kind of like grew to hate Star Wars in the movies, because at the time when they came out, like critic reception,
very polarizing, like
and a lot of the vocal reception was people were, you know, pretty upset. And so he talked about like, yeah, we just kind of like it took a while and it hurt, but we just kind of like tried to move on and almost like forget about it or like just put it behind us. But then he talked about how, but nowadays they didn't realize at the time, but the people who were enjoying those movies were kids. And now they're like our age or a little bit older who are now interacting with them and be like, I love the prequels.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, he's like, well, we had to wait like 17 years without knowing that was going to be the case, whatever.
I mean, I think fundamentally still people know they're bad.
They are.
Right?
Yeah.
Like even the kids are like, yo, these movies were garbage. But
when I was a
they
kid,
they made great meme material.
Episode
but see, you say that though,
bad.
but there are people out there who those are their favorite Star Wars movies.
I'm sure. But like, I think the fundamental opinion is still that 3 was great, but the prequels were still pretty bad. But like, they were dumb fun. So like, there's definitely probably like a following. Like, I love the prequels purely because the sheer amount of meme potential over the past 10 years they've given me has been incredible. So I love the prequels. And in that sense, there's a like, I'm not going to sit here and say the prequels are better movies than the new ones in that sense, right?
Yeah.
But I will say, which movies do I look back on fondly? And will I look back on fondly? It will be the prequels.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say, just like Blue, I do kind of look, definitely more so now, I definitely look more fondly on the prequels, because I think like during like my teenage years, I was like really critical of them and like, man, like these really suck. And then like the new ones came out and kind of showed me, hey, this
could
is
be
how
worse.
bad it can. Yeah, it could be way worse.
Like, it sucks in a fun way,
Like,
at least.
yeah, like, you know, like midichlorian, like there are like parts of the prequels that are like stupid, and I
just
think
dumb.
Like, but there are parts that are bad fucking ass, and I love. So
yeah,
But see,
yeah, I same boat.
Personally, for me, though, I always like the prequels. I like the original more, but I never didn't like the prequels. I think my least favorite is Phantom Menace. But also, out of those, for me, most of my favorite Star Wars memories are from the prequels. Freaking Duel Fates, my favorite Star Wars song, got that.
Oh, absolutely.
All my favorite villains, frankly.
Yep.
As is traditional Star Wars, though, you get them for like 30 minutes and then they're out. But like Grievous, Darth Maul, those are some of my favorite.
Yes.
And everybody hates Attack of the Clones. For me, that was so sick because that's the first time you just got to see Jedis.
Oh yeah,
being Jedis.
For sure.
Yeah, dude, that scene is sick for like 6 minutes, and then you got to watch.
Well,
but I like
minutes
but that's,
well, that's the point. Well, that's the
I
point.
don't fucking care about.
No, well, that's the point. Is that yeah? Most of the movies were most of the runtime of the movies, absolute garbage dog shit. There's nothing redeeming about them. But like,
okay, but
the movies themselves,
disagree. I don't agree with that. That's your guys' opinion.
You know, teach their own, Mr. Fruit. Your taste is questionable sometimes. And in this regard, I will not deny that I think your taste is questionable that these movies are great.
Like, hey.
Well, I'm not saying it's all good or bad, but like to say the whole runtime and there's only like a couple minutes redeemable.
Well, I'm not saying the whole runtime. I'm bringing it back to the station. I'm saying most of the runtime is pretty garbage. But for me, right, like there's still those extremely iconic, extremely like holy shit, that was badass moments that almost make up for the rest of the movie uh being taped together by WD-40.
I would say like the peaks of the prequels are peak Star Wars. Like I would say,
Oh,
like when I
100%.
think like peak Star
100%.
Wars, I normally don't think 4, 5, or 6 are like scenes from 4, 5, and 6 because like then it's
I think
like,
I think
They were
Obi-Wan
limited.
and Qui-Gon fighting Darth Maul. I
yeah,
think I think the final fucking duel of fates, Anakin and Obi-Wan. I think Obi-Wan and Grievous. I just think of Obi-Wan now that I'm
when I
thinking
think of
about it.
like
I
cool
think of
writing and like twists,
I hate
I don't think of
you.
anything in the prequels.
yeah.
I don't
I'm
think
not over here like I don't think of great movies, but I do think of probably the most iconic Star Wars moments, even
like
more so than 4, 5, and
I mean
6 for
I'll say
me.
it, I think like maybe 15 minutes in Clone Attack of the Clones is redeemable. Like out about maybe the attack on Gene when all the Jedi are fighting, and then
Yeah,
the
that's
Count
fucks.
Dooku fight, maybe.
Count Dooku fight is okay. Well, I like the Count Dooku fight as a kid. I thought that shit was so hype watching Yoda fight, and I still do. It's still
You're
a
like, wow,
little
he can
tiny bit
actually
silly.
move.
It's still a little tiny bit silly still, but like
Yeah,
I'm still
but I'm about it, because he is
like
the master.
would I rather have footage of Yoda fighting or no footage of Yoda fighting? I'd rather have footage of Yoda fighting.
And I mean, I think the
Like
difference too, though, is they were on the cutting edge. Like, part of the problem was ILM at the time, like, they were the first ones to like fully step into like almost all of this is green screen, and
yeah,
look at all these VFX.
Oh yeah,
but,
yeah.
almost like a fault though. I think that was like,
I mean, I agree. Yeah, I think George went a little too far.
He knows that though, so you
Right.
know that's fair.
But like, I think that's like why like that some of that stuff doesn't age as well because it was the best they had at the time, but that doesn't always mean it's gonna age well.
Yeah,
Like,
for
which
sure.
is why like the original trilogy ages better because they used actual like
Practical
puppets
effects and,
and
like, yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So that actually kind of like the same with Jurassic Park. Originally, that
I
was
always thought-
supposed to be CGI, and I don't think it would have.
I always thought it was really funny with Star Wars that like the prequels had always way better, cooler technology, and then like you get to 4, 5, and 6 where it's like older and the future and it looks really shitty, and then you have 7, 8, and 9 where they had to make everything look kind of shitty but kind of newer. Like still, like that was like my favorite. Like,
But I think part of that though is part of the charm is like there's like the whole saying or whatever in any medium, but like restrictions spawn the most amount of creativity. And so for like for Star Wars and a lot of its aesthetic and stuff was simply because they were doing and using the best that they could at the time, and so because of that they mixed all these things, and then that gave us the Star Wars aesthetic. Because who knows if it had been nowadays, what it actually would have ended up looking like. But pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Life can be overwhelming, and so many people can get burned out without even knowing it. Symptoms can include lack of motivation, feeling helpless or trapped, detachment, fatigue, and more. I am currently working on my process of being burnt out and how to work through those processes. So I'm actually working with BetterHelp to work through those and find better and healthy alternatives to not feeling experiences of burning out. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video and phone and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and GG Over Easy listeners can get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/GG. That's BetterHelp.com/GG. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this podcast.
Warning, Doctor Strange spoilers are ahead. You are warned. Also, after this, if you can't immediately swap, don't worry. We talk for a minute or two, letting you know, again, spoilers are coming. However, this notification is to let you know to skip to the hour and 6 minute mark. That should be okay, even with ads. If you want to be safe, hour 7. But aside from that, that should be good to put you after the Doctor Strange spoilers. If you don't want to listen to those, you're all beautiful. And there's your warning. Warning. Doctor Strange spoilers. Blah, 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 blah.
Speaking of, I would say, polarizing opinions, would you guys like to talk about your opinions? I would say spoiler opinions. So if you haven't seen Doctor Strange yet, we gave you a week.
And you
we
can
feel
still
like
click
if
away.
you are a stan, like, yeah, you can still click away.
You should have seen it by now.
Yeah, if you're really that upset about spoilers, like, you probably should have seen it by now. And then you can comment, hey, Rob, fuck you. Like, I run marathons every day, and tomorrow is the only day that I could have seen it. So for that person, you can bitch at me. I don't care.
Or just pause. And then I will try and come back like it did midnight and give a timestamp.
Okay.
All right, so just to clarify, from this point onward,
yes,
this is spoiler talk. So
Yes.
if you have not seen,
not the rest of the episode,
Yes,
not
but
the rest
like-
of the podcast, but starting now, we're talking about multiverse. All right, so if you really care about spoilers,
and
now's
you
the time
want to be
to
surprised
zip
in
out.
seeing Benedict Cumberbatch's
Yeah.
penis the size
Yeah,
of the
the
globe.
part where
Master
Wanda-
Chief comes
I
and
can't believe
claps.
Wanda circumcises Doctor Strange.
She
They
goes-
allowed
she
that on a
goes back.
PG-13.
She goes into a different universe and circumcises. I was like, why is that even necessary?
Yeah,
But I was
never
into
thought
it.
I would
I was
see
like,
that.
that's okay, sure.
And I was
Sam
like, wow,
Raimi.
so that's how the procedure works. How barbaric.
So initial thoughts. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. I thought it was kind of what you. It reminds me that I'm seeing a Marvel movie. I had fun. I had a good time watching it. I didn't like it as much as 10 Rings, but I liked it more than I liked Captain Marvel.
So you thought that was like a run-of-the-mill Marvel movie?
I would say, yeah, just like a B tier Marvel movie. Like, wasn't bad, but wasn't good, or like wasn't great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was okay.
Well, I would say when we were talking about it last week, the problem was all the parts I want to talk about that I enjoyed were all spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite part about the movie was the maturity of it. Like, at some points, I'm like, this is PG-13, right? And
Yep.
and so, but that was the coolest part. Like, we straight up had a Marvel Invincibles moment. Like, straight up, Wanda went in as the Omni-Man, yeah, and just straight up to, in this case, the Illuminati. Yeah.
Illuminati.
And then just single-handedly just, and all the deaths were sick. I was like, that was
sick.
sweet.
I just thought
I
I thought the movie would just kind of set up the universe and
Right.
this phase more. Like, was my only thing.
I definitely think the first half of the movie was a lot stronger than the second. It did eventually kind of dive into, oh no, we can't let the bad guy win. And then I don't know, for me, like, the Wanda moments definitely carried what was a pretty. Marvel just has this problem recently where, like, their third acts are just. I've watched it already.
hard to finish strong.
Yeah, they don't like they set up, and with the Wanda Illuminati shit, like, how do you make a third act that follows that?
Sick.
So it was never gonna win, but I expected a little more than just run of the mill. There was definitely cool moments, right? Like where Strange goes zombie Strange.
I didn't like that.
And then he gets his fucking undead cape. That was sick. And I don't know, like, Wanda getting closure on her kids, like, it was good to see, but
that was one thing I didn't really like. I get that she wants to be with her kids, but in what universe, Wanda, are those kids in that universe just gonna be like, oh, mom, I love you,
new mom?
That's why
Yeah.
I was like, just let her go see, let her
Well,
go
that's
see what it's
the
like.
whole.
And then at the end of the movie, of course, that's when they finally let her do that.
Yeah, it all happens really quick. I mean, the whole movie's based on, like, the Darkhold's influence, so I get it. I mean, it gave us Wanda literally pushing the boundaries of PG-13
I thought she
Uh,
had like blood on her like face when she was like chasing them and stuff, but I think it was just like oil from like the machines and stuff like that.
Could have been blood. Who really knows? Either
might
way, it
as
was
well have
sick.
been blood. Because man, I don't. They pushed the boundaries of PG-13. I was literally watching it and I was like,
Well,
"This is
yeah, I
PG-13.
suddenly realized I was like, "What is going on?" When she's like, "What
This
mouth?"
is
and then his head just,
yeah."
I'm
His
like,
head, and I was like,
oh,
"Bro, what?
Oh yeah, like when he was like, yeah, that is when I was like, whoa.
What
yeah. And
mouth?"
then I was
And I
like,
was like,
"Oh,
and
Jesus,
I was like, "Yes, slay him! Oh shit! Oh fuck!
Jesus,
Oh what the? Oh Jesus Christ! This is rated
watch out, watch out,
PG-13,
watch out."
bro."
I will say, bonus points, infinite amount of bonus points for me. For keeping, I didn't know the storyline going in. Their trailers purposefully misled and never let you in on the fact that essentially I was like, Wanda featuring Doctor Strange, but we
Yeah, that
thought the
was
whole time like he's gonna go, and then Doctor Strange is fighting himself, like his evil version is gonna be the thing, and then turns out that was like a minute.
no. This movie was like literally the finale to WandaVision.
Pretty much.
So as somebody who likes to go in blind and all that stuff, like to know that they even included scenes that weren't in the movie in trailers to mislead people,
Yeah,
I like that.
I love Marvel's advertising because they know how to hype you up, and then when you go to the movie, like you don't ever actually get spoiled by the trailers
Like it
because
was literally,
they make stuff specifically for the trailers, so
yeah,
to mislead you.
which is sick.
It's great.
And it
I
was
did.
like 10 minutes when I realized like this is not what I thought it was. As soon as like he's
Yeah,
going with
exactly.
Doctor, or as soon as he goes to Wanda, and then that whole thing starts, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know where this is going.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like,
What the
sweet,
hell?
yeah.
I did get kind of sick of like how every kind of I felt like every time Doctor Strange was in a scene, like they introduced him into like a new kind of thing. It was now he has to fight somebody, and then like something's happening, and then all right, we're chilling now, and fight. It is back, and then he's back to fight.
Yeah.
I just got kind of annoyed at by the end of it. I was just like, all right,
The
like
strange scenes
like
were
the strange versus strange.
definitely.
Like I was like, this is not like needed. Like I didn't like the music thing, like the music note scene, like the little battling with the
I thought that was
music
cool.
notes. I thought it
I
dragged
thought it
on,
was
and I was
sick.
like, this
It
is
was like a
dragging
really
on.
creative way of showing like how Doctor Strange can fight. I thought.
Sure, I thought that for the first like minute of those shots, and then it was like more shots of it going back and forth. I'm like, all right, like we get it. They're notes and they're fighting with notes. Like
I just
fun.
like to
Like
think
can we
of
move on?
what that's like for Benedict Cumberbatch sitting there, well, in like an entire green screen room, just sitting there like
It's,
just flailing, and it's just like,
audio listeners, Mr.
look a
Fruit
little
is
bit
summoning
dumber,
a portal.
Benedict. Look a little bit dumber. Oh, it's like, okay, work. That's pretty funny. But no, I like that.
I
But
did really like American Chavez though. I actually really enjoyed her character more than I thought I would.
Really?
I did. I really did, which I feel like
'Cause
people actually didn't, when
I
I genuinely
felt
did.
for me, she felt like very much like move the plot forward character,
For
and
sure.
it got a little better near the end of the movie. But for pretty much the entirety of the movie, for me, it just felt like, oh, what does her character exist for? So the movie makes sense, I guess, guys. And yeah, I don't know. It got better near the end where it felt like she was actually part of the movie.
Yeah,
But for the most part, she was just a plot device, and that's the part where
well,
I was just,
and that
eh.
I wish that she didn't learn her power. You know, I thought that would have kept her kind of cool. You know, and that she doesn't know how to work it still. And I thought, but instead of just that trope of you do know how to use it though. You've been using it this whole time. Like, no, I fucking
Yeah,
haven't,
same.
Doctor Strange. No, I haven't. Like, I haven't been using it. Like, now all of a sudden, because you said that in some sort of dead body, like, and we're in the moment where I have to use it now, we're really gonna die. Like, I was kind of sick of that. But I was hoping that they would kind of have her be like, I don't know how this happens. It kind of just happens. Because I thought the thing with her parents was actually pretty cool. Like, she just has this weird power, does have no idea, and now she's been to like a million different universes.
Well,
Besides
I
me
enjoyed
sucking.
that scene where she sucked her parents away because I know some people are like, that was ridiculous. Except if I had that power, that would have
Yep.
been me back in like,
Yeah.
was that first grade when I got stung by bees and had like, I'm still deathly afraid of bees. So I saw that and I was like, ha, I would have done that.
Yeah.
Be like, well, it's
Makes
just a
sense.
bee. I would have been there like, oh my God. And just open up a portal.
Yep.
I did think they were gonna. I thought they were gonna kill Wong. I thought Wong was gonna die, and then that Strange would become.
I would have been
Sorcerer's
pissed
Supreme.
if Wong died, dude.
Yeah, I was
No.
gonna be too.
He
So
deserves-
like, I was glad that they didn't,
He deserves more time.
because like he was dead. They were definitely kind of toying with that kind of idea.
I was like, they better
Uh,
stop. Better
Um,
not do that shit.
but I also didn't
wish
even
they did a-
know about America
Go ahead.
Chavez. I didn't even know she was a thing in the Marvel universe. I didn't know she was in the movie. So for me
I
too, I
only
was
know
like,
that because of those like deep dive into the trailer things. I
yeah.
like those,
So see, I
especially
don't
with
watch
Marvel
those.
movies. Yeah, I do with Marvel movies because I didn't read the comics. I thought also gotta be the worst post trailer. Knock that shit off. Like we're in Marvel movies. You give us something, damn it. Don't give us that. Like
It's
that.
over.
Yeah, fuck you. Like fuck you, Sam Raimi.
I thought it was funny. We already got a
Nope.
one post scene, so.
I don't care. Give me another.
But see, like that's the weird thing now. It's like used to there were no post credit scenes. Maybe
Yeah.
you can expect
But
one,
you've said-
and now you're like the second one sucks, dude. I'm out, bro.
But you give me a buffet. You give me a buffet and it's all my favorite foods. And I go, "Oh my god, this is great. Thank you, Marvel. Wow. Like I didn't know I wanted this." And then they give me this and go, "Okay, here's a buffet with all the worst foods. All the foods you hate." And it's like, "Okay, well, I didn't want a buffet, but now I'm not going to eat this, you know?"
Yeah, and some
So-
people like myself enjoyed that part. I don't like
Awful.
everything at a buffet, and you're not gonna like everything at a buffet.
Spitting. Mr. Fruit with the wise wisdom right now.
I just thought it was funny.
Mm,
There's a little like,
trying
and
to
it's over.
think what else I like. I liked the bison guy. He was cool. I want more of him.
Oh yeah, he just kind of showed up. And
Yeah, he just showed
he was
up
there, and
yeah, I was like, cool.
nobody really
that guy's
talked
sick.
about it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, nobody's gonna talk about the bison guy. Like, all right, that's. But then it was like sweet. Like he's just.
I really enjoyed the Professor X death scene. Poor guy just keeps getting put in the movies to die. But
Dude, that was the peak. Holy shit! How did they get this past the fucking? How did they get this past the movie? Whatever dudes who dictate the ratings. I was like, bro, she just ripped his. She did not snap his neck. A lot of people were like, wow, when she snapped his neck, and I was like, bro, she did not snap his neck. She ripped that man's head in half.
all right,
All right.
it happened so fast. It looked like she just snapped his neck. But I think part of it was like those scenes and like kind of pushing the envelope on some stuff we haven't seen was cool.
Oof, sheesh.
On the other hand, though, I do think a lot of like the story and stuff was just really corny, and like sometimes
sure, for
Marvel
sure.
can do like
Oh.
good corny, but sometimes it was just kind of like this is just corny.
Can I tell you like what I hated the most in the movie? And I was like, literally, sorry, Albus. Literally put in the movie just to be like, oh, whoa, I know more about you now. When they go to that alternate universe and it's like, welcome to Memory Share. We see your memories, so you don't have to. And then he steps on it, and then they like see memories, and then they're like, no, I'm not gonna share that. And they're like, whoa, like you're so much more deep. I'm like, that whole scene, like they just, oh, you stepped on a thing in a universe, and now like let's learn more about you as characters through that. Like that was just so cheap. I hated that scene. But I thought the scene itself was like cool.
So then I would ask you, how else would you put something like that in that movie?
I don't know, but don't make it so like, oh, they fall in a universe and
It was
I don't know,
pretty obvious.
But I think
But at the same time, that's the
think
type of
that's fine,
obvious
though.
I kind of expect from Marvel. So it didn't really take me out, I guess. I don't know.
I wish my one complaint was it was more like Doctor Strange and the multiverses of New York. I wish when they were jumping around, I get like I guess you jump from wherever you were and you're gonna land wherever you are in another universe. Maybe that's what they're going for,
Wow, you landed in New York
like in the exact spot.
again.
Right. I would have liked to see like
a more plentiful New York.
Well,
Like
just
red
anywhere
is
that's
grow,
not New
red is
York.
go.
Not New York. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, that one place was kind of cool. I was like, oh, like
Well-
that's a cool city,
well,
but like,
but-
what is the rest of the world?
What is that one movie you guys saw that deals with like different multiverses?
Everything
and
everywhere
then-
all the time.
Oh
So,
my god,
my
goated
stepbrother was
movie.
basically saying like, why didn't they do that with the multiverse? And like, you basically just said it was only New York, and when they go to different multiverses, it wasn't. The only time it was really drastically different is when they're in like those multiverses for like a second, you know?
Right.
Like I think he said it would have been cool to have the paint universe for like a minute or two, you know, like something where it felt like actual multiverse instead of New York verse.
It's just different because with all comic book things, the intention of the multiverse is not for the multiverses to be like drastically different. Their intention is to have different characters
It was their
that
version
you
of
couldn't
retconning
that you
shit.
couldn't normally just introduce in like a normal non-multiverse thing. So
Well, this is the one.
they
thing,
definitely have moments of like cool multiverses, but it's there for characters.
The one story plot that didn't make any sense to me was you have all these multiverses with like infinite possibilities, and there's everything out there. Except apparently, like Doctor Strange never ends up with Rachel or whatever her name is. But if it's really multiverses, they're out there.
Would be.
Yeah, there's supposed to be like infinite possibilities, and he's like, I looked
I will
everywhere and I
say-
can't find one. That doesn't make sense because
I will say
with all the others,
there is one line that hits me right in my meow meow, and it was the I love you in every universe line. That shit hit, and I was like, damn, ow,
Yeah.
Why did that hurt so hard? Haha.
that was nice.
Yeah, but I'm like I just thought it would do more for the phases, I guess. So maybe it's my fault that I didn't think it was that great, but I'm like looking at the tier list or like looking at all the Marvel movies now, and like it's not as good as Civil War. You know what I mean? Like not even close.
Well, I think I've kind of talked about this too. It's gonna keep getting harder and harder for Marvel too because the scope keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's a lot
Yep.
easier for like Civil War at the time to hit the way it did
Yes,
because our universe and scope of the movies and the MCU hadn't expanded. So like it's easier to make those more contained storylines, but the farther we get, we kind of talked about with Eternals, and this one. Although this one, like to be fair, it's the whole idea. But like the more times you have this gigantic threat that spans way more than like Spider-Man fighting the Falcon or whatever, the Vulture
Yeah.
in New York City. Now it's like we're trying to save every single universe. It only serves to make it harder for them. So like it's interesting to see, like someone had a good point, like we're reaching like Dragon Ball Z levels of like power scaling.
Yep.
So like
True.
how are you going to keep interesting stories that aren't it's either like
unbelievable,
Thanos is
like,
destroying
It's not
yeah,
just have massive superhero fights, and that's the
Right.
plot.
like
Yeah.
now there's two Thanos.
Like you got Gigantor, Space Goblin punching Earth, and you got Hawkeye shooting an arrow at him. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like, at what point is this like, all right, knock this shit off?
So
But
yeah,
I
that's
did-
why
speaking of
like
Eternals, I liked it way more than I liked Eternals. Like,
yeah. I think though kind of the same thing. It's because I knew the characters going into this one. If I didn't know that, I think I would have felt kind of similar because the problem with Eternals was they were trying to do a lot of stuff with people I didn't care about.
Yep, same.
so does this mean we're getting John Krasinski in Fantastic Four?
I hope
like
so.
like in our universe, hopefully. Like he's
See,
actually.
I think that was just fanfare for those few couple minutes. I don't think.
Oh,
I
don't tell
want
me
to.
616.
I
You're
hope-
saying
I
I
hope
want
so,
to.
but I feel like that was definitely the intention. Is oh my god, John Krasinski,
And he's dead.
now he's dead.
now shut the hell up. Like, and
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Like,
Because
so you think
I'd
Reed
like
Richards
to see it
is going to be a
too.
different, like 616 Reed Richards is different than whatever that one was.
Well, so as people pointed out, because I was reading on this too, like, well, how does that work? It's like in the series Loki, they talk about it. You have variants, so you're still yourself, but sometimes you look different.
Yeah.
So like in this case, in that universe, Fantastic Four or Mr. Fantastic looks like him, but another one, it's gonna look like probably whatever actor they end up. Same way with like Loki. He was literally Loki. He's an alligator in this one. He's a woman in this one. He's same way. I think
It's
it's
John
not.
Krasinski.
Whereas
Can I
like
tell you guys?
I think that was the problem. I think it would have helped if in one of the universes they went to, Doctor Strange was not Benedict Cumberbatch,
That would have been cool.
but he's still Benedict Cumberbatch. But like in a way that
Where's the
same thing
line
with
drawn?
Loki, right? Like you just look a little different in this universe. You're not always literally Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange.
You literally are an alligator. Like
Yeah, or like they showed, different universe.
different costume.
Like Captain America is instead
Peggy.
yeah, but I forgot what the first I don't know like what her
Union Jack or
name
something
is.
like.
But yeah, and then instead of Captain Marvel as Bree or whatever the fudge her name is, it's her like childhood friend that was also a pilot, and so on and so forth.
Can I give you guys some sad news actually about this movie? I had that reveal spoiled for me.
Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Aw.
like a day before the movie came out, WandaVision or like Wanda was trending.
Oh god.
And shame on me, I thought she was trending because like, oh, there was like a new trailer or something like that. No, somebody had like taken a
Rookie
video
mistake.
of like,
Rookie mistake.
and it was like John Krasinski standing there, and then like all the other ones, and I was like, what the like, oh no.
Rookie mistake
And
being
so,
on
like-
Twitter.
So and then like I go and to the movie, and then like Reed Richards pops up, and everybody's like, oh, and like Sydney's like shaking me like, oh my god, and I'm sitting there like, fucking Twitter, man.
Fuck.
Fucking bitches, like
You see?
fuck yeah.
All that
So
was a surprise,
pissed.
so that was cool for me. Because like when they were leading that up, I thought it was Professor X. When I'm like, we all know it's gonna be, can't think of his name.
I thought we were gonna get another Iron Man. Like I thought we were
Oh.
gonna see a different version of Tony Stark. I thought that would have like set.
But I
the
just
place
thought-
on fire.
because in the trailer, like the whole time, I thought they're gonna be like, whoa, but it's actually, the actor for Professor X. But then they just like casually showed him as Mr. Fantastic. You're like, wait, what? So I did appreciate that too, circumventing expectations. But yeah, I go into the movie to these with headphones, listen to music and stuff, and Claire's like, you're ridiculous. And I'm like, all it takes is, did you see that leak
Yeah.
about
yeah.
him being in Mr. Van? And then I'm like, all it takes. So
It's like, why would you share that
mute
with me? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mute
But like
Twitter.
you
I put the
guys-
headphones in.
Like you said with the whole power creep thing though, like it just makes me think like if I ever see a Fantastic Four movie and like Reed Richards is really like trying hard and stuff, I'm like, just call the Scarlet Witch. Like just go get her, tell her to come down here. She'll obviously kill whoever you're fighting because she killed you in 2 seconds. So like it's gonna be hard for me to keep that, you know.
I think they just haven't really nailed the stakes feeling like within our heroes' reaches. You know what I mean? Because everything so far just feels so like over the top, and I think they'll get there eventually. But like right now, it just feels kind of like, ooh, the multiverse is so cool because it's the multiverse with no like real end point for like, okay, what is your end game? What is your end game here with the multiverse, right? Like, what is the story you ultimately want to tell? Because right now they're just telling a lot of like, oh, the multiverse is crazy. Look how crazy and wacky it is. And it worked in No Way Home because of just how because they managed to in that movie not make it feel so massive, and they made the story really interesting on a smaller level. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean that's also because one, it's Spider-Man, and we love Spider-Man, and two, they brought all the Spider-Mans we love. So
Well, I think part of
I
too
think
why
they
I
managed to do that with most of them.
why I enjoyed the Illuminati scene was because just like that, like we haven't literally across like pretty much all the movies had a major hero just die like that. And then we got to see
Oh, yeah, for
five
sure.
just get, and of course they did it. They were able to do it because this is a throwaway universe. and we're not normally gonna get that. But that was refreshing, where it's like heroes can die. Like
That was the best part of the movie for me, because it really made it feel like, all right, so like this is exactly what I want to see from Multiverse. It's just things that
things,
really make me like, yo, holy shit, we just lost that character. God damn.
because it also does a lot more. Because like we're always hearing like Scarlet Witch is the most powerful being. Like, well, I mean, she made a city into a TV show, but then like they're actually able to like, well, now we can show her killing just heroes,
Like,
the most
fuck yeah.
powerful heroes of this universe, whatever. And it's just like, I just unraveled you and like as if you were paper, kind of thing. That was cool. But yeah, overall, I would put like 7.5, 8.
Yeah, like B.
High highs, but kind of some low lows.
I would give it also about an 8, because the Wanda stuff was very good, but it did suffer from the Marvel formula syndrome that I feel like hasn't aged as well as they want it to, with the multiverse being their main focus. Solid 8.
The post credit scene, Charlize Theron is now a hero apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go!
Well,
She's playing like Clea. I don't know much about that hero, but apparently my little brother said she can jump through dark dimensions, I think, or something like that.
well, what's so funny to me is 10 years ago, ish, they do a post credit scene. I'd be like, oh my God. And nowadays it's a post credit scene. I go, who? Because like I'm pretty casual at comic books.
Yeah.
So now it's getting to the point where it's like, they showed up once in issue 87 in 1983, and it's like, because like before it was like that's Wolverine, dude, or like, oh my God, that's Iron Man, and now it's like that's that. Who
That's
is
the
that?
whole-
Clea?
Clea, I think.
I saw Charlie Theron. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll see how that goes.
I'm a massive loser who reads comics, and even at first I was like, "Oh my God, it's Charlize Theron!"
Well, I guess she's like a different version of the Sorcerer Supreme. She's the Sorceress Supreme in some universes instead of like whatever you call him. Can't remember his name. But point is, that's kind of roughly what I heard. And then she has like some different powers. And I'm like, cool. I'll see that in next Doctor Strange, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, I was kind of hoping, like with you, I thought this was going to be how they were going to introduce the X-Men. But
I just thought this is how they would just set up just the whole phase itself. I thought this would be like the big move, because like it's able to multiverse.
Because
like,
do we even really know like what this, like we had like the Infinity War Thanos arc? Do we know what this one is?
So if you're a big super comic book nerd, they said a word in that movie that it's like a buzzword with the comic book people called incursions. So that like it's called like Secret Wars or something like that, where basically
I remember people saying Secret Wars.
Like all the universes are eventually gonna like fight each other. Like Thor is gonna fight.
We're getting a tournament of power. Oh shoot!
Who knows like what that is gonna look like? But that is kind of what.
I wonder who they're casting as Xenosama. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. So like when Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, is like, you've started like, he started an incursion basically. That was like everyone going like, oh, whoa, Secret Wars is coming, because that's the word they use in that, I guess, a lot.
Yeah, and I was like, what's that? And he goes, it's like he essentially annihilated the whole universe. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Can I don't know how your guys' movie theater audio was, but when that guy said, I'm sorry, like the ringing. So when they kill Doctor Strange, he goes, I'm sorry, and it like rings. That shit got so loud in our theater, like to the point where it was like ear piercing.
Really?
Like it was bad. Like everyone in our theater, audible eyes, like dang, like.
The only problem I had sound wise with that movie was when Wanda came in to like take the kids at the end or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the Wanda that she'd taken over and was already their mom or whatever said something. Did not catch a single word of that one sentence. And then like her face changed, and then like the whole thing kind of changed. I'm like, what did she say? And it turns out she said like they'll always be loved.
Well, Sydney looks at me.
But I heard
I
like,
was like, "What did she say?" And then Sydney goes like, "Hey, what did she say?"
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I don't.
Yeah, I was like,
I guess
I hope that wasn't important. It turns out it kind of was.
Yeah, it was like Hasa love, and I was like,
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, I heard love. Love is the only thing I heard.
But yeah,
and then like
you see her face, and I'm like,
until
what they say? What they say?
You know, she's right. This is okay.
Yeah, so I was like, so I had to look that up right after because I guess some people, I mean, same way. Some people were saying in their odd theater that line came through perfectly. Some people were saying like us, they didn't hear it at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same thing with that "I'm sorry" scene. Like maybe it was
know that
too loud
they
for
will
some.
be loved.
Right. That's it. Yeah. Did not catch any of that.
Because I texted my little brother. I said, "What did Wanda say to the Scarlet Witch?" And I said, I put in parentheses something love.
Yeah. So I guess that'll wrap it up. For the Doctor Strange spoilers.
59. So like right about an hour. That's
Well, yeah, I have to kind of think of where ads will go though. Probably push.
We only have like 2 ad reads, so maybe I think we only have 1 ad read
hour
this
3.
week.
I don't know. We'll just briefly keep saying you are safe. We are done. If you skip this far, you're good. If you skipped earlier, well then, oops, you're in the middle of it. Is there anything else I want to talk about before we get into? Oh, you mentioned EA losing the FIFA license.
Yeah. Damage has been done though, so fuck EA. Like FIFA Ultimate Team has seeped its way into Destiny, Call of Duty,
Everything.
You name the game. The Ultimate Team, influence is there. So I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing. Maybe it just spawns a worse evil. Who knows?
Yeah, apparently from the little bit I read, because I hadn't heard about it, EA was having trouble coming to like an agreement with them about the rights, and so they just lost it, which is kind of insane because EA has made over like 20 billion in revenue from their FIFA series. So it'd be interesting to see what that means going forward, what they're gonna do. I don't know, but
yeah,
pretty crazy. Because like, if they do football games now, but it's not licensed, so then they can't really use players. Like, will Ultimate Packs be the same? Because now it's just like, oh, dude, I just pulled
a 98 rated
Josh
player.
Smino. Yeah, and they say he's 99. They're like, oh my god, that's cool. I guess
the equivalent of Messi.
Right. And instead of pulling like Messi or Ronaldo, where people are like, oh, I know that. Yeah, we'll see.
Real quick, there is a new content merch drop going on right now. You guys can check out at whatsnew.gg. Travel Danielle. I've been wearing this kind of on and off. I don't know if you've noticed. But she is the latest drop. There is a hoodie option, a crossbody, which was her accessory, and for the first time, a t-shirt accessory, which will be cool. So you guys know, in a future date when the website launches, you guys will have your version of the t-shirts launched. So people can go back and get your t-shirt version because we weren't able to offer you guys that then. So if you're saying like, oh man, I wish Blue and Fruit had their t-shirt, at a future date, that'll be coming. So you can go back and essentially get your t-shirt version of Blue's and Mr. Fruit's drop because they didn't have that offered. So yeah, check it out. Danielle's an awesome streamer and creator, and I'm thankful that she let us use her and her community to give him some awesome merch. So check it out. It's definitely one of my favorite designs, I think.
It is a great design.
I like the color scheme.
I do too. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we go to questions, I guess? All right. Got a question here from Addie. Says, everyone has been through a lot since the start of COVID. Since then, what is one important thing you have learned or wish you could say to yourself at this time at the start of COVID, I guess?
It's going to be so much longer than you think. Like, you're going to lose 2.5 years of your life.
Yeah, it's
actually, I would start with either never play Among Us or never stop playing Among Us. You got to decide.
you got to choose.
You won't
Yeah,
know what
one
that
or the
means
other.
yet, but just trust. All right.
Pick sus or not sus. You'll know what
If
that
I
means
go
when the
back,
time
I
comes.
think I would just not play it. Yeah.
I would just be like, skip the self-deprecation and start eating better sooner.
I would say enjoy as much time as you can with Max, because it's gonna end here soon.
Oh, and you ain't going to Japan anytime soon.
Yeah, you ain't going. And the Fruit Summit you planned on this summer? Yeah, that's not
Pack
Fruit Summit
South,
2.
Fruit Summits. No.
Oh,
Fruit Summit
oh,
2.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not coming till 3
You'd
years
be
from
like,
now.
yeah, you'd be like, yo, so I know you were planning on Fruit Summit, but the next 2 years, gonna have to skip that.
You're not gonna see anybody for 2 years.
Oh, and also go see an oral surgeon. Trust. You won't know what that means yet, but just do it.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I'm going to GCX here in like 2 weeks. It's gonna be the first event I've been to since TwitchCon 2019. And like, I think your last event is.
Our last event was PAX South 2020.
Oh yeah, I guess
That was
PAX South.
the Reese's.
I always forget PAX, because like we didn't really go to an event, type of thing. It
because
was
that
more
was
so,
literally
like,
like 2-3 weeks before
Yeah.
lockdown, I think.
well, because like we were even talking about it, like, man, it's kind of sus.
And then
Yeah. So I guess PAX South actually was the last one I went to. But like we didn't go to the convention very much. Like, Ezra says, any advice for if I feel like there isn't a job out there for me? I've had a decent range of types of jobs, and I really don't feel like there's any type of them. I know y'all figured it out with being content creators, but still, any advice? I don't even know if I figured it out with being a content creator, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I figured it out either.
Like, I mean, I'm going through a huge burnout right now where I don't think I've streamed in like a week and a half. Like, I probably wouldn't have been making any content if I didn't do the podcast. I ditched out on like recordings and stuff like that. I haven't done that like in years. Normally when I say I'm going to be at a recording, I'm there. But like, I don't know. I've just been going through super massive burnout. And I don't necessarily think like I've figured it out if like being a content creator is necessarily like, oh, dude, like, this is what I wanted to do since like I was a kid. Like, it's something that an avenue that I thought was awesome and something I thought I'd be super interested in. I think staying a content creator, and I'm not at the point where I'm like an XQC where I'm a 1% of the 1% of creators. I have to do this every day. And I think I'm finally just getting to that point where I'm accepting that and learning how to be a content creator and learning how to be better at this career. But I don't even think I necessarily figured out with being a content. I think I'm constantly figuring it out. Am I thankful that I'm a content creator and I get like to have this avenue to even explore? Absolutely. Like, there's nothing else I rather want to explore. But to say like this is like my end game or something like that I don't think that's necessarily true.
Let me let you on a secret. Nobody has it figured out, and the people who do have it figured out are either extremely lucky and always knew they always wanted to do something, or they do stuff because they have a massive safety net and they don't actually need to figure it out, right? So most people who are doing their thing right now, I can guarantee you all three of us can be like, if you were to be like on the outside, right, it looks like, oh my god, they have it figured out, they're content creators. But you ask all three of us, oh, I can't believe you have it figured out. All three of us would be like, no, we don't. So
you heard me complaining
everyone's
about
figuring
my
it out.
channel dying for 2 years. Where have you been?
We don't have it. We do not have it figured out. So, everyone's figuring it out, including you. So,
I wish I had the answer. Like, oh, dude, I know what you want to be.
yeah, same.
Like,
I wish I had the answer to that, but I
just
don't.
have to keep trying.
If I give you the answer, I give me the answer. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know the answer when you find it.
Blemish asks, Mr. Fruit, are you still playing or have you finished Tunic? Overall thoughts.
I haven't finished.
Also, have you had Korean Spice? I don't know what that is. When I hear Korean Spice, I think of like Spice, the drug you smoke. That's like was extremely bad for you. And I know he
Korean Spice.
Like Korean spices? Like
I don't know what to say about that one.
This
Tunic.
is Korean spice.
Oh, well, in that case. No, I've played a little bit more. I was having fun with it. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a series or not, but I'm just not going to be able to do a series. But the game itself was really fun. I kind of like how they went on the no actual like guidance. Kind of just explore and use context clues. Or what I thought was kind of cool was you collect pages of the game manual that looks like an old like Super Nintendo game manual in the game, and you have to find the pages to like find the whole manual, and then the manual's like reminding you like, hey, do this to do that or blah, blah. I thought that approach was really cool. The game looks really good. It was a really fun game. I haven't had a chance to finish it, but that's kind of the problem too. Is rarely do I have a chance to actually play through a whole game.
Whittle says, "Hope you all having great days." Question for Fruit: what's that protein French toast recipe?
I don't have a specific for you, but I can tell you what I do. I get a carton of egg whites. It's like a freaking, not like a small carton. It's like a regular carton. You pour that whole thing in a dish, the pan, whatever, and then you
With a whole carton.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so
and
you're
then,
just like
I'm meal
bulk
prepping.
making this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing too. Is if you want to do it for one batch, you just have to divide it and figure it out yourself. It's way easier. When I do it, you cook it, bake it. You got French toast for like 6-7 days. A whole carton. You take your cinnamon, shake it once for each bread you're gonna be putting in there. Although if you're doing smaller breads, I do like half. But generally I do 12 shakes because I put 12 pieces of bread in there. I then have that, and I put that many sweetener packets in it. I use stevia, I think. And then I do 4 capfuls of vanilla extract. So what I mean is literally the cap you use to unscrew the vanilla extract. You fill that up 4 times, put that in there, whisk it, mix it up, then take your bread. I use Ora wheat white bread. For me, it works the best. You can do whatever kind of bread. I like to do white though because usually I eat French toast right before I work out, and white, unlike wheat, processes quicker. So just quicker release of energy. Put that in there. You dunk the pieces of bread, and you should get through about 12. Put them on sheets of cooking, whatever. On top of parchment paper. Don't forget the parchment paper, otherwise, trust. On top of the parchment paper, throw it in the oven at 400 degrees. I cook them for about 12 minutes. Take them out. Throw them in the Tupperware. I let them cool off first, like a couple hours, just dry. Throw them in the Tupperware. Put them in the fridge. And then every morning when I want to eat them, take them out, put them back on the sheet, put them in the oven, preheat to 350, and when preheating's done, you're good to go. And then I'd use Aunt Jemima, I don't know what the name of that syrup is, sugar-free. And there it is, boom.
Next question here from Crystal says, if you guys had a chance to be on a game show, which would it be? I was watching Holy Moly and thought it would be hilarious to watch you guys play since y'all play golf it. I don't know what Holy Moly is.
You don't know what Holy Moly is?
No, Holy Moly.
Is it spelled weird?
Yeah, it's
great mini golf show.
Really, it's a mini golf show.
Yeah, it's really good.
What? I love mini golf.
You would probably love it, honestly.
What?
It's actually a pretty funny show.
Really? I see Rob Riggle is in it.
Yeah, I was about to say I'll watch it just because of Rob Riggle.
Yeah,
right, it's a really funny show. You should watch it. I can't believe you guys didn't know about Holy. It's been a pretty big show for a couple of years now.
No idea.
What, not even.
Which is
once.
Weird because I have cable too. Like, huh? Game show. You know what's weird, dude? GSN, the network for games. That used to be like my favorite channel as a kid. That's all. That's why like I think I'm pretty decent at trivia, because like I just used to watch the $100,000 Pyramid, Hollywood Squares, you know, all those game shows all the time. But Legends of the Hidden Temple would always
What'd you say?
be number one for
Me
me.
versus Astro Crag, bro. Bring it.
No, that's Guts.
Guts. For me, Guts.
Guts would be yours. Okay.
Guts or Legend of the Hidden Temple.
Guts would
Or
be sick though. International Guts.
if I want something a little easier though, probably like the Japanese Ninja Warrior. You know.
Okay.
But if I want to challenge, like Legend of the Hidden
Yeah.
Temple. Yeah.
Okay. BlueWestlo?
I don't know, dude. Game show, man. I don't know. I feel like just a classic, I feel like Holy Moly would be really fun, but I feel like, I just want just a good old normie Family Feud. I'd be in for that shit.
Bro.
Hook me up. I want to see Steve Harvey.
If you guys haven't seen, what did we even call it? What did I call it?
Whammy. Whammy.
No, when we did it with Hot Wings.
Oh, Family Feud.
No, but I called it something different, I think. And then the slogan was where the wings are hot, but the men are hotter or something.
I don't know what you renamed it. That's a banger video though.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you haven't seen that, it's probably one of our best. Family Food. That's what we called it. The hottest
I didn't realize
game
we
show.
called it that.
I did. Yeah, it was something catchy.
Oh, okay. That is catchy.
Dude, we're creative as fuck.
Okay, we got like 10 minutes left. Okay. So this is another. Hey Rob, this is how you pronounce my name. Hey Rob, just want to know. It's about my name. To help, it's pronounced Accelerator. Question for Fruit. I happened to find a game called Superland on the PS Store and remembered it being one of my favorite sets of vids you did for a game. I also loved watching you play and playing myself a game called Bad North. Can we possibly expect a return to any old games like these on the new channel? And if so, did you already have some in mind?
Those old games, when they were new, did terribly. Old games or old videos on old games that did terribly will also probably do terribly.
Satch.
Probably not. Bad North I really enjoyed. Like freaking Viking RTS low 4X, like freaking, because I've been playing their that company's new game, Dune Spice Wars. That's really fun too. And I'm not even big into Dune. It's just because plays very similar to Bad North.
Got a question from Pot. It says, "Hey Blue,
Oh
do you
wait,
have
no. Oh,
what?
I'm thinking the North Guard. Hold on. Now that I'm thinking, wait, what was Bad North? Oh, yeah, that's a one-off video. That's what that was.
That's funny. Pot says, "Hey Blue, do you have any free company/personal houses, or were you able to score one in the first lotto? What happened? Oh, that happened. Mr. and a friend got one in Imperium. Parentheses. Shout out Exodus War 22 plot 36. I'd love to see the Penguin Hut.
36? Is that a large?
It says, shout out Exodus War 22 plot 36, dude. I don't fucking know. I'm just the messenger.
Plot 36. That better not be a fucking large. I'll kick your ass. I'll fucking kill you. Yeah, I posted about our house on Twitter at some point. I'll probably do a repost eventually.
Where is your house?
We are on Famfrit, plot 19, 7th Ward. We've had this house for a while. It's prime Shirogane plot. We really wanted an Imperium. But
so wait, do you own it, or does like your company own? Like, what does that mean?
I mean, our company owns it. It's like our clan house, basically.
So did you have to give like the clan leader? So did your clan mates give you a bunch of gold to buy said house, and they just trusted you that you would use?
Yeah, I just used my own money for it, and then I was like, socialism. You guys can send some money my way.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had this house for a while. It's our clan house. I mean, I have my own personal house too. So if you want to see the Penguin Hut, you can go to mine's in the Goblet. God, what is? I think it is. Hold on, give me one sec. I wrote this down actually because people kept asking me, so I was like, I wrote it down
It's got to be somewhere.
in case I'm not on FF when I do it. Okay, it is on Famfrit. It is plot 18, 9th Ward on Famfrit.
I'll meet you there.
If you want to see the little penguin hut, come to it's Jumbo's library.
We'll do last question here from Astute Warlock. It says, if the world was an RPG game and you had complete control over stats and customizations, how would you grow your character? Would you be a big tanky character with a hammer, a quick-footed ninja with blades, or anything in between? There's no limit to combination. Personally, I'd be a mage that can control 4 elements. I'd be like a sniper build. You know, I always do that in RPGs, and it's boring, but like some sort of like sniper build where I can snipe people with a 50 cal sniper.
I usually go sneak archer.
Yeah, it's boring, like what everybody does. Like,
yeah, I'm always like, I'm gonna do something else, and then I don't.
It's over.
It always devolves into like sneak archer.
Seriously, like every time I do a Skyrim playthrough, I'm like, I'm doing something different, and then I'm always a fire mage. Like
it was like Deathloop. You can play like however you want. You can approach everything however you want. At some point, I unlocked a silenced pistol, and from there on out, it might have well have been like Hitman. So I'm like, well, all right, I'm playing stealthy shooter. I just can't. Like Ghost of Tsushima, I had to stop myself from just like being a ninja and assassinating the entire village. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I should just go in there and be a samurai. So it would devolve into something like that for sure.
I pretty much always go. If I'm not a tank, I'm a mage. So one of those two.
All right. Well, that'll do it for the GG Over Easy podcast. I know Mr. Fruit is going to be recording some. You going to be streaming it or no?
I don't know. Maybe. Evil Dead the game.
What's that about?
Well, it's funny. I'm gonna be honest. I've never seen Evil Dead or consumed any.
What is Evil
Dead? Exactly right. Like I didn't really know it was a thing.
Well, it is. Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's like this pretty popular, campy sort of. I don't know anything about it.
Or like,
but it's like
if you like Sam Raimi, you'll like Evil Dead.
Yeah, it's like this zombies kind of thing. But the game's coming out. It's really cool. It looks like it's an asymmetrical multiplayer game. Horror game. So most people think like, oh, Dead by Daylight. But it's actually a little more interesting. It's 1v4. One person plays the demon soul thing, and the other people are the survivors. And the survivors have to go around the map, find these pieces to a map fragment, which tells you where these like ancient items are to be able to destroy the demon. Meanwhile, the demon starts out not very powerful, has to go through the map and can see everybody doing it, and is usually invisible, picking up like demonic powers. And then throughout the match, everybody gets like skills, and you level up your skills. And the demon, there's different ones, and they have different abilities, but you can like possess anything. You can possess other zombies to then fight them, or you can spawn portals to just keep fighting the people for you. You can set traps. You can summon bosses. You're just trying to level yourself up and
that's pretty fun.
Get tougher. And then it's kind of like the longer the game goes, usually it starts to even out. Like demon starts not too powerful, humans are more powerful, and then as the game goes, it starts to like kind of meet, and it looks pretty fun. So
yeah. Well, I hope you have fun.
Thank you.
And I hope you had fun listening to this podcast, everybody.
And if you didn't, you must love Halo, the TV series. You got bad taste. I'm just kidding.
Me either. The game too.
The woo.
I said it.
With that, yeah, we'll see you guys next Sunday. Be there or be square. Unless you like squares, then you'll be something you don't like. You'll end up in the paint multiverse. So think about that. Yeah. Love you guys. Deuces.